Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff. Hey guys, I'm Maureen.
I'm Eve.
I'm Shelby. I'm Jeanette.
I'm Amanda.
And today we are discussing Sweet Magnolias. It is finally back. And we are so excited to get in the first 3 episodes. Now, if we're being honest, Amanda forced us all to binge it, except for Eve and I were the only 2 who didn't make it all the way through. Not without trying on my part. I just didn't get all the way through. But we aren't going to give away the ending. We are only going to stick to the first 3 episodes. However, what we are going to give away is we're going to start where last season ended. We went from trauma scene to trauma center. So we're going to dive right in.
Oh, man. That hospital scene was a lot more awkward than I
More
anticipated.
intense.
It was intense. That's a better word. Awkward as well. And I felt like that anxiety feeling, like why these people, all these people should not be in the same room together.
Yes.
Type of feeling. But who did Bill get in a fight with?
Ronnie and
Ronnie.
Vaughn, Mary Vaughn, and pretty sure Jackson. I think Maddie. I think Dana Sue.
I think everybody.
Oh man, that
Even the nurse. Because when we
nurse.
open in on it, he's trying to convince them to let him back there because he's Dr. Townsend and they won't let him back.
Yeah. Dr. Townsend, I know who you are. But
I don't think that name carries any more weight in that town.
No. But I think even Ronnie was trying to be like calm and relaxed. And I think I don't like Bill, but I get why he was more on edge. I don't think Ronnie should have been saying anything to calm anybody down because he's not a part of anything there. And it's not his kid in that hospital room.
Well, I mean, the hard thing that I was kind of feeling this season, I mean, yeah, we got Ronnie last season, but it was just for that short little
one
time.
episode.
We don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like a stranger coming in and like telling our people like what to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, we don't know you. Why are you talking? But if you think about it, he's been a part of that circle for 20 years almost.
But he's been gone for a very long time.
Like 2 years, I think.
Like gone. Like no one's seen or heard from him or anything.
But I mean, 2 years versus a 17, 18-year-old friendship.
Yeah. Because I felt like he jumped kind of right back into the circle.
Yeah, I just felt like he felt like very comfortable to just jump back into the circle of friends.
I feel like he and Bill weren't really friends.
Well, is anyone friends with
Bill's
Bill?
friends with anybody.
I don't think Bill has friends.
That's what I'm saying, that I kind of understood where Bill was coming from because he was addressing Bill and trying to calm Bill down when I don't think there's any position for him to be doing that with Bill.
Yeah.
Whether or not
I
he's
would
an
like
a-hole, it's Bill's
more-
kid in the room.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying. It definitely wasn't his place. But I just felt like there was that normalcy in their circle, I guess. But
I did like that every time he tried to comfort Dana Sue, she like swapped his hand away.
Oh, and man, Jackson.
I felt sorry for him for the first time, and I did not like that I felt sorry for him.
I know, me too.
Jackson is like my favorite character almost now, guys. Like
I know, I'm right there with you too.
Remember,
though.
we
What
can't go past
happened?
episode 3, so
I know, but even I'm not. But even by the end of episode 3,
Yeah,
I
no, same.
loved Jackson.
he's like a completely different person.
He
Yep.
is. You
Because I
see
even said in our live with Nelly, with Simone, I was like, I don't like him. I hate that guy.
I didn't realize. Did you all notice how kind of shocked her face was when you said that? Like, I remember this now, and it's probably because in her head they've already done season 2, and she
Yeah.
knows that like he's a good guy,
Yeah,
and so it was, I don't know, probably really awkward that we were like, ugh, I hate him.
Jackson.
I mean, how
And
terrible
now he's my favorite.
for his mom to come in and immediately look at him and say, "What did you do?" Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I hate her. I
Yeah,
hate
do
Mary
too.
I
Vaughn.
do hate her. Yes.
Like I
I would-
didn't like her before, but I don't care who your son is. You do not do that to your kid. That's just she's a terrible mother. She's a terrible human being.
She
Yeah.
is. I think who it was like Jeanette, was I just talking to you the other day when I was like, Mary Vaughn has become like
Worse than Bill.
the villain
Yeah.
in this whole show. Like she was like the villain last season, but this season she just took it up, not a notch,
Mhm.
but like 5 notches. She went up
Yeah.
and
There's
just the
like
villain,
nothing.
and you're like, what? Whoa.
Yeah, there's
Mhm.
nothing redeemable, I think, about her now. I thought maybe there would be at the end of last season. I thought, okay, maybe we'll find something, but no.
Yeah, because last season it seemed like it was just the grudge between her and Maddie, and that could be that
Mhm.
was fixable.
Yeah.
But
Right.
now she's just a dead-hearted person.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
And
so
her
mad.
husband, I mean, Trent's not any better. So I mean,
I
I
don't
feel
like him
so
either.
sorry for these kids.
I do too.
And the look on Jackson's face when Annie stood up for him, it was like no one has ever done that for that kid in his life
Light bulb.
before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is why he was the way he was,
Mhm.
because no one was ever in that kid's corner.
Right.
And I mean, last season we did see Mary Vaughn freaking out on him for not being a starter, which is out of his control completely.
Right.
So I mean, we knew that he was already had a tyrant for a mother who only wanted perfection and nothing else, only performance.
Mhm.
But it was just really sad to see that light bulb hit for him.
It
The
was.
one thing I will say about the first episode though, like the confrontation with Jackson and Ty, I don't know why, but like I felt that really out of left field kind of for Sweet Magnolias, because like the first season it was very kind of chill and like I don't know. There
I think it's
wasn't any
because we
fight-
didn't see it, but
Mhm.
Cal did say that they got into it a couple times at practice.
Yeah.
But
I'll
we
admit,
never, you're right, we didn't see it, but it was talked about.
I think season 2 is a little more dramatic. We've amped up the drama for sure, I think.
Yeah.
But that confrontation between him and Ty, I mean, Ty kind of started that. And
Mhm.
it kind of irritated me that I don't know. I mean, Jackson gets all this like crap or whatever, but like Maddie's kids kind of initiated this whole ordeal that ended up, I mean, Jackson was being a jerk at the party that started all of this, but like the Townsend boys are the ones that really kind of caused the biggest part of the drama, in my opinion.
From the car accident, yeah, that was all Kyle. But I mean, Jackson was offensive enough that Cece had to be defended. And then when she punched him, he started saying some really terrible things.
Yeah.
And she would rightly hit him. I mean, he was saying pretty terrible things
Yeah.
about her.
I still feel like both Ty and Kyle are just as dramatic and troubles, which I mean, they're just being teens. They're just being, that's what they do.
It's
But,
normal.
Like
but
this incident that, Ty gets his arm broke. I mean, he started that. Jackson was minding his own business.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
And Ty initiated it.
I
Not
gotta hand
that
it,
I mean,
I have to hand it to the actor because his arm really looked broken. The way
Yeah,
he
did
landed
you
on
all
it, like, it
realize-
was painful.
this isn't really going past, but like, why was Kyle's leg better before? I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know anything about breaks and I'm not a medical professional, but like,
Kyle
I
had an
would've
ACL
thought-
tear.
okay. Did he have
And-
like he had to put I don't know. He had something else.
patella.
too. Yeah.
He had a patella fracture. That's your kneecap. So he fractured
So I
his
guess
kneecap.
that just heals faster than your arm, I guess. I don't know. It seemed odd that he got his cast off like weeks earlier than Ty did.
Thighs looked worse though.
Yeah.
Like, well, I
'Cause they
guess
said-
we didn't see Kyle's like
They
actual
said
injury.
4 to 6 weeks for Ty. And I'm like, so what did Kyle just only have to wear it for 2 weeks? That seems like not a very long time.
Well, when I had my ACL repair, I had to start walking on it the next day.
Okay.
And I think for a kneecap, I don't think it's 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and you
Okay.
need to start working that muscle right away. So
Yeah,
it's
makes
probably, and he
sense.
was laid up for a while too because he also had the back injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
mean,
makes sense.
And Kyle's also younger. I mean, not that much younger, but kids can bounce back faster than
Yeah.
but the other thing is too that I was gonna say, I think like from last season, the whole Ty and Jackson thing was kind of a ticking time bomb ready to happen. I mean, like I did not think that they were gonna show like a whole confrontation thing on screen, to be completely honest, but it was definitely a ticking time bomb ready to happen.
yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
It just sucks that it happened as Jackson was starting to realize what a jerk face he's been.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
even after he broke Ty's arm, he was apologizing. Like instantly.
Mhm. He was. I
Yeah.
didn't really, even initially, as soon as Jackson did it, I don't know, like my initial reaction was it wasn't Jackson's really fault.
Mhm.
Even though this is
Yeah.
episode right when it started, I was not Team Jackson when this
Mhm.
episode had started
No.
because of how he acted last season. But I was already going, well, I mean, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah. Ty was coming at him and all he did was shove him away. He just happened to land.
Yes. I mean, it was a horrible accident
Mhm.
to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
the other option was to let Ty punch him in the face.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
So,
poke
I
him
mean,
at him. So I mean, he didn't really, it was a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna do that.
Ty and Kyle both had crappy attitudes these couple episodes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Kyle was killing me, man. I'm like, where
I
is like that fun, happy kid from last season? You know, he
And-
had a few issues last season, but I've like when the start of this, it was just like such a mopey, depressed. And it just upset me so much. Cause I'm like, where's that? I need like
Yeah.
that fun Kyle. I missed it so much. I was really excited to finally learn who was in the car
Mhm.
with him. And I think did we all get it right? Or did a few of us get it right? I don't
I
even
know
Nelly
remember
was
what I
one
said.
of our answers.
I said that it was Nelly from the very first time I watched the thing.
Mhm.
Just want to throw that out there and make sure that
I thought
everyone
it was,
knows.
I feel like I thought it was Nelly because she ran out right behind him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I felt like it was her. So I wasn't really shocked
No, I wasn't.
about it. But
It was good to see. Like I was nervous though when we saw everyone else come into the hospital and Nellie was missing. I was really afraid that something major was going to be like
Mhm.
wrong with her. Thankfully, it wasn't. And I loved seeing her when she came to visit Kyle in his hospital room. She is just the sweetest human being, and I love her so much. And her just saying like it wasn't his fault and kind of reassuring him of that, even though he wasn't very. I don't know. He didn't really take her, forgiveness very well. But I mean, I know he's just in a dark place at the moment. But I enjoyed their interactions. I mean, she's a sweet girl. I don't know how she's a sweet girl.
I don't know where she
Based on
gets
her
it from.
upbringing.
Because she's the ignored one. That's how she's sweet.
Yeah, I guess so. but no, I don't know.
But I had high hopes that we were going to see more of Nellie because she featured in the first episode.
Yeah.
And I thought that Kyle was eventually going to use her because she's been the only one who's been a friend to him,
Mhm.
use her to pull out of it. And I didn't see enough of her in the first 3 episodes
No,
at all. And I think that was
No.
a mistake.
I think that was it, right? That's the only time we see her in the first 3
Mhm.
episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she gives Kyle that book
hmm
and it was like he didn't even I don't think it's that he didn't care. I don't think he was just so guilty or what, but he barely even acknowledged that she was there. He didn't acknowledge that she gave him the
Yeah.
gift. And even when she kissed him,
Yeah.
nothing.
I think he's just in such a bad place, but
yeah.
Those Townsends didn't come out shining in this episode.
they didn't really. They really didn't. But I guess Nellie and Kyle, they're not the only couple we had to catch up with. There's another couple. I guess at the end of last season, Maddie and Cal were kind of in a rough spot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had almost forgotten about that. Like I kind of had to, like I actually paused and I sat there. I was thinking, I was like, what happened with them? And then I remembered it was the whole Scout thing.
Mm-hmm.
But because when I saw them in the hospital, I was like, why are they being so cold to each other? That's so weird. And that's where I was like, something had to have happened that I'm forgetting about.
Yeah.
But that was really awkward to see them in the hospital because they weren't like being cruel to each other. They weren't like being cold to each other, but it was more just awkwardness.
Well, she like
Mhm.
even pulled her hand back when he went to
Yeah.
touch it, like, which
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's
And he was
Pretty
making
much.
eyes at her the whole time, trying to get a reception of some kind from her.
mhm.
Did you
He
guys
wasn't
think
having it.
Maddie was overreacting, or do you
Yes.
think that she had a right to be upset?
I
I
think she's
think she-
overreacting.
I think she
Both?
completely overreacted.
Yeah, I mean, I think she had a right to be upset, but I think she was definitely overreacting.
Definitely.
The reason I don't think she had a right to be upset is because she didn't hear Cal at all.
Yeah,
She didn't. She just heard what her son said, and Cal, he didn't have control of that, and he did tell Ty, "Listen, this isn't what it is. This isn't what you think it is." But she
Yeah.
didn't give Cal an opportunity to say any of that. She just jumped to conclusions and assumed.
the
Yeah.
only thing I think he should have been forthcoming about his friend. I mean, he should have given a little more information about that friend, I think. But otherwise, I don't think he did anything wrong.
But I think the reason he didn't is because Maddie would have closed off about it. Because
Well,
her son's a
maybe.
star baseball player, and there's a scout, a friend of his who happens to be a scout coming. I think that would have shut Maddie down real
Yeah.
fast.
But
So I
she
think
would've
he
been-
wanted him to know her first
yeah.
before he found out that she was a scout. I think that's how he was trying to arrange it, but the
I
incident at
think
the field
I
happened
still
first.
think it was the wrong way to go about it, but I don't fault him for it. I mean, I don't think he did anything wrong, really.
Mhm.
No, he didn't.
I did like his pizza casserole
I was
though.
going to say his pizza casserole. That was pretty fun, and the extra pepperonis for Katie, of course. That's he's always thinking those small things, which is really nice.
I need
Mhm.
someone to bring me pizza casserole.
Yeah,
Also, I need pizza casserole, like actual pizza casserole, to be a real thing.
sounds like a good thing, right?
That's a
Amanda,
thing.
Can you get a recipe for that?
I was going to say, if anybody
is a
knows
thing.
the recipe, it's Amanda.
There's a recipe for it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I
Yes,
have one.
I need one.
I'll give you one. But mine has pork in it though. I guess you could just leave the pork out. You don't eat pork, right?
I can eat pork.
I know you can, but usually I thought you said that you didn't like pork.
It
Pepperoni? Do you eat
depends.
pepperoni?
I eat pepperoni, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, that's the only pork in it.
I think
Don't know
too,
why.
I like too that where they, when he made up for her and he went up to her and they had a conversation. I like that she owned up to it and she apologized. I like that they talked, but also that they're making out even when Paula's like, "Hey, someone's coming in here. Hey." And they just
Yeah.
kept
Yeah, I
going.
was like, did they hear her? Do they care
They
Nope.
don't care.
or not?
That was cute.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. It was I mean, you have like steamy scenes in this
Mhm.
show, but they're so
Mild.
mild and like kind of PG done.
Mhm.
They're very
Very
PG.
intense.
It's I like
Yeah.
this show. I mean,
Obviously.
I like Bridgerton too.
I was going to say, much to my
But-
disappointment, they're very PG. No,
I'm okay with
I'm-
it.
I'm just not a huge Cal fan. I'm sorry. And then y'all know I never really have been, but
I'm not either. I'm right there with you.
I
he's
like
fine.
Cal and Maddie.
He's nice.
See, that's why I like
Yeah.
him, because he's
Yeah.
nice.
He's almost too nice. Like his little scenes of his romance is a little too cheesy and over the top for me. It's not my style.
I think he moves too fast.
He removes way too fast, in my opinion.
And even last year or last season, when she's like, "Slow down," he's like, "This is slow for me." Yikes.
It's just so
Mhm.
I don't know. He's just so pushy in the relationship sometimes. It just bugs me. Oh, we won't get into all that. But
But he does give her space. And I think I like that we
Yeah.
see him supporting her here and we see her supporting him. Like when he comes home from the game, she's there. Obviously, her son is on the bus, but she's there for Cal. And then at the meeting at the end, her in episode 3, he's there with her. He doesn't need to be there, but he's there with her to support her. I just
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
that it's a mutually supportive relationship.
I do. I
he's
feel
very
like
good
they
Kids.
What,
Mhm.
Shelby?
I'm sorry. He's very good with the kids
Mhm.
too, not just Ty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All 3 of them.
And they like him.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Maddie and Cal are all hunky dory in episodes 1 through 3 at least, but then it's what, like 5 steps backwards with Kyle?
oh
Poor Kyle. I don't know.
Ah, no, Kyle
She says,
sucks.
ah. Yeah, but I think last season they were showing us this kid is like depressed and like needs someone because
Yeah.
and so for that reason I feel sorry for him because I think he's feeling overlooked and he's feeling like just I mean he's feeling broken and he needs somebody to talk through with that. And I mean that's causing him to lash out.
Mhm.
Softy, remember? It's in my title of the email. So I feel sorry for him. Plus, it's Logan Allen, and we all know that we adore him, and so it's hard not to feel sorry for this kid. You know,
I kept making excuses for his sassiness.
I mean, he was awful. I'm not gonna lie, but I think he just needed help.
I think Shelby and I are gonna be on the same page here.
But
Y'all
also,
are
I was watching
hard-ass.
it and I was like, Logan, come on.
I
You were better than
know.
this in the interview.
The only parts that made me upset is when he was pretty grumpy with Katie, and I'm like, all right, leave Katie alone. Like, that's one thing to be grumpy with your mama or your brother, but leave your little sister alone because she didn't do
Katie-
anything.
Katie
Yeah.
is the only purely innocent person on this entire
Exactly.
show, so you better be nice to her.
Exactly.
Man, poor Katie and all this drama in this
And
family.
Forget she's even there.
Prancing around,
I honestly
and
do
doing-
forget about her.
She's just prancing around doing all of her get well cards. She's good.
Talking about her dinosaurs. Yeah, she's good.
I feel like she's with the grandmother more than she's Maddie ever.
She is.
But-
So let's hear it. What do y'all think about Kyle? Let us have it.
Let it rip, Shelby.
Go, Shelby.
I struggled watching him this whole season because I wasn't on the interview with him, but being on the live and stuff and listening to you guys interview him, like you can tell like it's like a completely different person. And I struggled like, really bad. Like I wanted to hate him, but like I couldn't hate him because of the person that Logan Allen is.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
That's meeting celebrities, man, because then I like have trouble not liking the characters.
yeah.
But the thing that I had problems with was he was being so crappy towards everybody, but he was the reason that everyone, like, that he was having the issues that he was having. He got into the car, he chose to drive with Nellie, he
Mhm.
got into the accident or whatever happened. You know, he's kind of the reason why Nellie can't talk to him because the parent, well, other stuff happened too, but the parents pretty much banished them from seeing each other. Ty even getting hurt was kind of because of Kyle too. Even though, well, if they weren't in the hospital together, and I don't know, that's just my
disagree on
opinion.
that part, but
Like his mom was trying to make accommodations for him as far as like letting him stay in the living room and stuff, and he was really crappy towards her with that. Like I get wanting to have a door or whatever. Then to top it all off, sneaking behind her back and talking to like the person.
No, I'm Noreen makes me do that. I'm not shaking my head at you, I'm shaking my head at Noreen.
Oh, I was trying to remember if this was in the 3 episodes or not.
No,
it's
It
at the
is.
very end. Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Mhm.
So then on top of it, him texting Noreen and getting her to come to see him when his mom and her are shaky, which Maddie handled that with grace. I probably would have kicked her out of my house.
100%.
I don't think I would. I think I hope at least that if my child needed help, if my child needed to talk to someone, I would not care who that someone was as long as they were talking to someone.
I feel like Noreen should have reached out to Maddie
She should have.
before
Mhm.
showing up.
I agree with that. Yeah.
There should have been more
Noreen-
communication.
Noreen oversteps her bounds way too much. And I don't know if it's just because of the type of person that I am or if like everyone's like this, but I would have not been as graceful as Maddie was.
I think I would have let my child talk to her if he needed to
Mhm.
talk to her. But in that moment, I would have gracefully asked her to leave. To come home and see her on your porch holding, I don't know, and even Maddie says, well, she doesn't say this there, but I mean, you can tell that Noreen is the reason Kyle needs help in the first place. Noreen
Yeah.
imploding that family. Bill helped, obviously, they're equally responsible. Bill and Noreen are equally responsible for the imploding of that family. But that's a large reason why Kyle needs help, because through this, he already felt a little invisible, but through the divorce, he really was like nobody.
Mhm.
And she's
Yeah.
the reason for it. So I would have gracefully asked her to leave. If I saw the person responsible for the boat my son was in, I don't think I would be as okay with her right then. And again, if they needed to talk and that was who he wanted to talk to, I would arrange it.
Mhm.
But that kind of disrespect, I would ask her to leave.
Yeah.
And the other thing for me too, and this is kind of silly, but Maureen, your whole theory has my head all messed up with this whole Kyle and Noreen thing. Like it really, really does.
Because he emotionally is involved with her, and he has been, because in the midst of, is Jeff in your room with you, Amanda?
You were looking
Why?
for
You went,
you were like,
and then you looked up, like your mouth fell into an oh, you're watching NASCAR.
that's
right.
what it is.
That's what
This
it is.
this is my Green Bay Packer games, like
Nah.
they are to you.
I can't believe you don't have the Olympics on right now. I'm disappointed in you.
NASCAR is on. NASCAR goes above everything else.
I did not know this about you.
I would neither.
But I think that because, and again, it wasn't a romantic interest between the two of them, but obviously he is emotionally involved with Noreen.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always have to mean romance, but it becomes a very real problem. And it becomes overstepping and it becomes inappropriate. And I think that even when you would watch him text and then like giggle and like get all giddy about it and be weird about the text messages, it was just, and then I found out it was Noreen. I'm like, I was right.
Yep. I thought so too. I had the same feeling.
If she's the only one who can make him happy, even from text messages, I mean, she's not involved in your dad's life anymore. I understand she's carrying what's going to be your sister, but that's a problem. That's a big problem for me. If there was any other adult that was the opposite sex for my kids, that my kids was hiding from me, that's a problem.
And the way that he was reacting to her text messages and stuff, it didn't sit right with me. Like it was, and like I'm not trying to be like gross or like make it seem like pedophile, nothing like that, but it was like a high school girl texting her boyfriend.
They were both emotionally involved with each other. They were both unseen by Bill, and so they both emotionally, I mean, so when I say that Noreen and Kyle have this inappropriate relationship, it's not that I think there's any sort of romance. I think that they depend on each other. And I think for a woman her age who is involved with them the way she is, to be depending on Kyle and for Kyle to be depending on her, I think it's inappropriate.
It's kind of like a hero, or maybe not hero, but like a I can't think of the word.
You think hero worship?
No, like how like people with Munchausen syndrome almost, like how like you put someone on a pedestal because that's who's like caring for you and stuff, but they're not necessarily like who you think that they are or what they should be. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I do think though they're both being authentic with each other, but I think that they are latching out and reaching out to each other because they're both hurting over the same thing. I don't think Shelby, I think you're the only one who sees what I'm saying on that. I don't think anyone else agrees with me at all.
No, I
Yeah,
do.
I really don't, but that's okay. And that's why I'm just staying quiet because I don't view it like that. I don't see it any different than, because I think she's around the same age as, let's say, Isaac. And we saw that Isaac was giving advice and close to Kyle and also to Annie. And I don't see it any different necessarily.
Isn't she much older than Isaac? At least
No,
by a few
I think
years?
she's in
No.
like maybe mid-20s, I think is all she is.
I
Yeah.
think my problem is that maybe she is the same, let's say she is the same age as Isaac, just for argument's sake. She's was placed in a position to be his stepmom.
Right.
And she's inserting herself into his life more like a friend. And that's the part that feels a little bit inappropriate to me.
Mm.
See, it just doesn't for me. And because, like, I think if she wasn't going to be a stepmom, it would feel weirder to me. Because at the time that they built this closeness, she was in a role where she was going to be his stepmother. I was okay with, I mean, I didn't like Noreen last season, so I had a much bigger problem with this then. And I can't speak to any of this because she just pops up at the end of the episodes we're talking about here. But I don't know. I just felt it did not bother me that he texted or called her because the kid needed somebody and this was the only person he was willing to talk to, and I just thought it was okay as long as he was talking to someone.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard thing because
I think his emotional well-being and his getting healthy and like getting over what's what's hurting him is more important than anything that's going on anywhere else.
But was it
And-
helping him?
I think so. I think it's the reason he decided well, we can't say this yet because like she just shows up at the end of season 3. So, or he's
Ashley was
episode
also
3.
helping him then too.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean, while he was getting text messages from her, he was being giddy and smiley and laughing with her and being joyful with her. But everyone else, he was being terrible and rotten to,
Yeah.
like
And
violently
he was
so.
hiding. And he was hiding his phone. Whenever someone would come in and he was texting, he would put his phone down like by the bed underneath his leg.
Mhm.
He was being secretive, like very
But-
sneaky.
In his like, let's put yourself in his shoes. If she is the one person he feels like he can be completely himself with, do you think that you can be like, your mom says, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Noreen. Do you think your mom's gonna be okay with that? Like looking at it through his eyes? No, of course he's gonna hide it. But I don't think it was really anything that needed to be hid. But from his
That's right.
perspective,
And I
see
think
why
that's
he
the
did
problem
it.
is because I think that if knowing Maddie and he knows Maddie, if he were to explain it to her rather than just be like, oh, it's Noreen. If he were to explain it to her, I think she would have a different reaction than saying, oh, it's Noreen.
I don't know that she would, but that's my opinion on that. I
I
think she
can't
would
say
have
why I
been-
think that.
I think she would have been difficult about it.
Next week I'll say
Now-
why I think that, because that's the only
Yeah,
time
I mean,
can
I'm gonna
say
keep my
anything
mouth
about it.
shut, but I think she would have been difficult.
Now I am gonna say though, and this isn't really a spoiler. If you want to cut it out, I guess you can. But my opinion on Noreen does change throughout the season.
You know, he's like la 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 la.
No, it wasn't anything crazy.
That's for me.
But my
too.
opinion on her does change throughout this season. And even though I'm mad with her right now, like I end up kind of loving her by the end.
So I think what I need is I think that all of our listeners, I think that we need to hear from you. What do you think about the Noreen Kyle situation? Do you think it's inappropriate? Do you think it's appropriate? Because I'm genuinely curious if anyone got those vibes that I did. And I really think it just comes down to that emotional dependence. I think if there wasn't that dependent, because they both emotionally depended on each other, because Noreen was hurting from Bill. She latched onto Kyle. Kyle was hurting from Bill. He latched onto Noreen. And they're continuing to latch onto each other. So I think it's the dependence I have a problem with, not necessarily that he's talking with her. It's the dependence I have a problem with. So I'm genuinely curious what you guys think. So let us know what you think. I mean, the other thing too is that Noreen just reminds me of Bill, and we don't like Bill or want to like Bill.
Nope.
Ooh, man, you got me, Bill. Bill. I think Bill actually did something good. Was that the first episode?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Bill is making a change, and
Bill's making a change, and I think it's actually a good change.
I do too.
We
Look at the
all don't like
characters
Bill.
we hate and altering them.
Yeah. Now I don't like Bill now. Still don't, but I don't hate Bill anymore. I hate what he did previously, but I
Yes.
don't hate. I think he's made
That's a
some
good
good
way to put it.
steps. I think
I
Maddie was even
yeah.
kind of too hard on him at the hospital. I think she was being a little, I don't know. He was
Yeah.
doing right that day, and he was there for the kids, and he was doing everything he was supposed to do, and she was I don't know. I just didn't think it was the time for all of that when he was there and he was stepping up and he was doing what he like thought he should be doing. It bugged me a little.
Yeah. No, he really has gotten better. I'm
Mhm.
only going to say it these 3 episodes.
He couldn't.
He
get
really
much
has
harder,
gotten
though.
better. But it's like I don't want to like Bill.
No.
And I feel like that's my problem with it, because I'm right there with you. I don't hate Bill.
Mm-mm.
I don't hate him. I think he's made some idiotic, stupid mistakes.
Yes.
And he hasn't made all the best decisions in his life,
Yeah.
but he owns up to it.
Mhm. I think
He's
he's
apologized for it. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Everybody messes up in life.
Yeah.
Everybody does. No matter if you think you're perfect, you're not. You're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
Bill's made some bigger ones than other people,
Yeah. He has.
but
But I think
you
he's really
can't just
remorseful.
keep harping
Yeah.
over the same thing. And yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, Noreen hadn't even had the baby yet. I mean, it hasn't been that long. It has been under a year.
Yeah.
So it's still probably a little bit raw for Maddie, and I totally understand that. I
Yeah.
mean, but she also, they really got to get better about this bickering and stuff in front of the kids.
Yes.
That's what bothers me about when Maddie and Bill fight is
Yeah.
a lot of the times the kids are there.
Yeah, and I think that I think that has a large impact on the relationship the kids have had with Bill, because I think
Yeah.
they're just seeing everything through Maddie's eyes, which is fine and all, but at the same time, regardless of what happens with their relationship, that is still your father, and you should want them to have a good relationship with him. And there's no way they're going to if they're constantly like hearing you. I don't know. And I mean, I'm not trying to say like I feel like I'm bad mouthing Maddie. I'm not trying to. I just think that was handled wrong. I don't think it was the time or place to do that. I don't know.
In her defense, she did leave the room and he followed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to do anything. She left the room because she didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And he followed her out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that. And I don't think that the kids were always around when they had their arguments. They were, but they ended up coming in the middle of an argument rather than them just arguing in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even with like the car, he came over in the morning to talk with her and they were talking and arguing in the morning alone, but the kids came down the stairs and were listening.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, but she put so much blame on him for this car accident because he bought the car.
Yeah, that wasn't
That's
fair.
and that was
not-
not fair.
It is not. And sometimes Maddie's emotions just overpower everyone else's needs at the moment. And
But-
it just bugs me. But I'm not saying I would be any better. I've never been in her shoes, and I'm not trying to judge her. It just,
I think we
outside
have to
looking
think
in, I
of
like
the
it.
moment that she was in, because this is still the night of the accident, the day
Yeah.
after the accident. And I don't know that if I saw my kid being pulled out of a car on a stretcher and I thought he could be dead,
yeah.
I don't know that within a day or two, my emotions would be back down to unpanic mode, unterrified mode, uncontrollable.
Yeah.
I think that they would still be uncontrollable and crazy because I just thought my kid was dead. And I just saying that
get
sentence
that.
makes me start to panic a little bit. And
Yeah.
it makes me start to freak out a little bit. And on top of that, all the emotions that she's been feeling with this being thrown at this, and I think with Bill and Noreen, that it was thrown in her face constantly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to move on, but she can't. So I think that there's she shouldn't have yelled like that. I understand why she did though,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because her emotions were high. And honestly, I think Bill's were high too. And that's probably why he followed her out there, because he handles it a little differently. I
Mhm.
mean, his kid almost died too. And I think that in the moment
Right.
she forgets that
Mhm.
because
Oh, yeah.
they aren't together. So they're both probably, and even when he got upset, he's like, my son. Well, it's not just your son, it's her son too. And I
Yeah.
think in this moment, she's still thinking, my kid almost died. I've been through all this year. Now my kid almost died in a car that you bought. And I think that it was just transferred panic.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have done it, but I understand why she did it, because she's
Yeah.
human and her emotions were crazy.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I agree with that.
But even then, Bill stayed overnight with Kyle.
He did.
That was that was a nice gesture. I thought she was going to say absolutely not.
She did at
was like,
first.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
please
thought she was gonna.
don't."
I thought she was gonna dig her heels in.
I did too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so when she's like, she agreed to it, I was like, whew,
Mhm.
And
that was like a
that's-
sigh of relief.
Yeah, and when Bill kisses Kyle's hand while he's laying there, was just
No.
It was good.
it was
Yeah.
it humanized Bill for me a little bit, and I think that's
Mhm.
why we don't hate him anymore.
The one thing I really liked was that Bill did go to Kyle, because usually Bill is like so far up Ty's butt,
Mhm.
like with the whole baseball, and you know, him and Kyle don't really have that good of a relationship and stuff. It was kind of a breath of fresh air that he went to Kyle and stayed with Kyle, and you know, the kissing him on the hand and stuff like that. It kind of just showed like, okay, like Ty isn't the only one that's in his radar, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was nice. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't feel like we really got that at all.
Kyle
last
seemed a
season.
little. Ty seemed
Just
a little
like
mad
the
about that
last-
too.
Who did?
Ty seemed a little mad about that too.
I mean, I don't
Sorry, I
know.
didn't mean to
Ty.
cut off what you were saying.
Oh, I don't know what I was saying. Oh,
Sorry,
Like me now.
It's gone.
that's my bad.
Gone. And obviously,
No,
wasn't
but I
terribly
think
important.
Ty was a little bit jealous with that.
Mhm.
for sure. Because
Me too.
usually, like for Bill, it's Ty in the baseball and Katie being the only daughter. Him and Kyle don't really have anything like bond worthy at all.
Oh, that's what I was saying. That I think we saw that like in the last episode of last season, that he was going to start making an effort for Kyle. So I think that's where that popped up, and he's following through with it, which is nice.
It was nice.
And since we picked up on the night that season 1 ended, I want to know what happened to those Hamilton tickets.
I think they say it later. Don't they mention Hamilton later?
I think
I've
so.
been through 7 episodes and I haven't heard it yet. So maybe it's
I
in
don't
the
know
last
when
3.
it is. I feel like they say he couldn't go, and I think it's just because of like, I think he mentions no Hamilton, no this, no that when he's talking to Ty at some point. It's in passing. I'm like, dang, that sucks. Miss out on
It
Hamilton.
sounds vaguely remember.
It's
Vaguely
in like it's like a
remember.
passing.
It sounds
comment.
vaguely remember.
They don't focus on it because I almost missed it, and I was like, what? But they say something about
I
no Hamilton.
feel like I need to watch again because I was trying to binge it for Amanda and I think I missed stuff.
We all rushed because she
I
I
didn't.
watched at my leisure. I don't know what you guys
This-
were doing.
my kids
This
were
is what
up my
get-
ass.
So
What
am
happened?
I.
Get for listening to Amanda.
Not like mine, my dear kid.
My kids were home all day too. Guess what? I made them stay in their rooms. I said, shush.
I don't do that.
My kids love living in their rooms.
My oldest one does. My little one loves living right here on my hip.
Bill is not the only one fighting with Maddie either, which was awkward for me. And it came out of the blue,
No.
didn't it?
Yes. Talking about Dana
Yes,
Sue,
it-
of course, obviously, but that fight, like I get that she was freaked out that it could have been her child, but it was not her child.
I know.
So I feel like that was completely an unwarranted attack.
I was very lost, like probably as lost as Maddie looked. Like Maddie was just standing there, like,
Look,
what happened? And that's how I felt. I was like, wait, what just happened? I went back and I listened.
Yeah. I did
Again,
too. I rewound
like-
it. I was like, what?
I was like, I had to have missed something. And then I was like, nope, I didn't miss anything. That was weird.
She just
Yeah.
freaked out.
I watched it twice and I still don't fully understand what happened. And I watched it twice and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
And the only reason she's
Why?
mad is because her daughter feels responsible, which is insane because she wasn't in the car. She wasn't involved in the fight. She wasn't even talking to Kyle. She wasn't involved in any way, shape, or form. One of her childhood friends was just hurt. And because now her daughter feels sad, she's ticked off that Annie is not given the attention that the boys are given. Like, what?
And I don't even think Annie feels as sad as Dana Sue made it out to be.
Well,
I mean, I
it's-
think she feels bad. I think she does. I mean, she mentioned that to Ronnie, and she did, but I don't think it's not like she's holed up in her room depressed about it. Or
well, Ronnie
something.
was the one who told her about it.
Yeah.
And I think that because she didn't witness it and then she went to Margarita night, she was just upset.
Yeah.
Unwarrantedly so.
I mean, I would argue that Annie feels bad about it in the way that,
normal way.
her childhood friend
Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
a car accident and she feels bad that he was in the car accident.
I mean, if she didn't feel sad, I'd be a little upset with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
I
It's
think it was
okay
a
to
plot
feel
point
bad.
to get us the sorry Magnolias.
Yes.
I think
and
is
it was
all that
stupid.
it was.
Because it
Yeah.
just made
Sorry
me look at
Magnolias
Dana's.
were adorable, but this
Yeah.
fight was dumb.
No, it made me look at Dana Sue a little differently, which is
Um,
unfortunate. Because
I think
mean,
emotions just were extremely high, and
I don't think hers had a right to be that high that long after the accident.
Yeah.
I don't either. She didn't have
Because-
a right to be.
No, I get you thought your kid was in there, but your kid wasn't in there. Your kid had not a scratch on her body. She was not involved in any way, shape, or form. So that day should have been enough for you to recover your emotions because your child was not in a really bad car accident. There was never a moment. Yeah, you were unsure there, but once you found out who was in the car, you were never uncertain if your kid was going to be okay or not.
Right.
So her emotions had no right to be that high that long after. And to lash out at Maddie, whose son did get hurt. Yeah, we're worried about the kid, about her boys because they were the two hurt.
They both got cast on themselves
Yes.
right now. Yeah.
They're literally
is in the-
broken.
One is in the living room with a back and a knee injury that he can't go upstairs. Like
Mhm.
her kids were the ones broken.
Dana Sue, I mean, she's really self-absorbed though, and I
Uh-huh.
thought this last season too. I mean, I don't know.
I thought that because in the first season, Dana Sue having diabetes was like a huge thing, like her having to control her sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that the
Right.
outburst was gonna be brought back to like her sugar issues because they didn't even mention that in season 2
It was like
at
it was
all.
just gone.
And I thought that like that would be a way for them to bring that kind of in because like they could be like, Dana Sue, maybe you should check your sugar or something like that because diabetes does change your attitude when your
Mhm.
sugar's high or
She
low
doesn't
or
have
whatever.
diabetes though. They said that if she continues, she will eventually get diabetes. She doesn't have diabetes yet.
She just needed a Snickers bar.
No, she has to watch her levels so that she doesn't get diabetes.
Oh, well, either way, that could have still been tied
Yeah.
in that way.
No, I agree.
Oh yeah.
I actually
I
I don't
forgot
eat.
about
I
that.
get really grumpy. It's called hangry.
I totally forgot about that issue until you just said it just now.
Why did everybody just move around?
Shelby raised her hand and then unraised her hand.
Oh God, y'all scared me.
Hey,
Yeah,
no
'cause
teleporting
we're-
because I kept
Well, I was
talking.
like- I was looking at you, and all of a sudden, you were gone.
Yeah,
And
everyone
you're
kept
somebody
talking,
else.
And
Ooh,
I
they're starting a mosh pit.
All right, so explain this to me about Sorry Magnolias. Did Dana Sue send them or did Helen send them?
Dana Sue.
Dana Sue.
Okay,
Dana
And
Sue.
Susan.
that's what I thought. But then I was reading something else and it said Helen. Wait, what? Because
No,
I
it's
thought
Dana
the whole
Sue.
time Dana Sue was the one who sent them. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because she sent one to Helen and one to Maddie.
I suppose Helen wouldn't send one to herself, would she?
No,
Well,
because I was lost at first when she got that because like Helen got the package and then she like ran out the door because like she was in the middle of stuff with Isaac, I'm pretty sure, and she got it and then like she was like literally in the middle of a conversation with Isaac and then just dipped out. And I was like, wait, like what's so important about this? And then Maddie got one too, and then they all met up at the spa.
It
yeah.
And then
was
it was later said that it was something from like when they were kids or whatever.
the tradition is super cute though. To
Mhm.
like when the bracelet's gone, the fight's over. I was like, that's really adorable actually. I
I
liked
love
it
that.
a lot. Mhm.
I have a friend that I've been friends with since 3rd grade, and we don't have anything cool like that.
I know.
know.
We got
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't have any friends from that far ago.
Because we grew up in the 80s and the 90s. We don't have any cool traditions.
Well, they did too though. They're our age.
Well, they're in this. Well, you're in the South too. I got nothing for why you don't have it.
I just don't have that good of friends, I guess. I don't know.
Dana Sue, I think the argument too, she was also worried about her second mortgage. And I think we saw that at the end of last season that she
Yeah.
was, going to have to divorce Ronnie and she was concerned with that. That could have played into her attitude too. But in this one, we see that Cal is the one who relieves her of it and he buys up Micah, which is awesome. However, Dana Sue did not tell Ronnie to leave. We see her saying, we have to stay married for this.
Mhm.
It's only going to be on paper. It's only going to be on paper.
Mhm.
But then once Cal says, I'll buy you out, she's like, we can get a divorce now, but she doesn't do anything. So I think Cal isn't the only man that Dana Sue has to make decisions about.
No. I mean, she's like caught up between Jeremy and Ronnie, which we all know where I stand. I mean, Jeremy's all right and all, but he doesn't do it for me. But I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Ronnie, we can see that he is, past discretions aside, he is putting in the effort now. And I think it's genuine with both Annie and with what he's trying to rebuild with Dana Sue. And it's clear that like the feelings are still there. And, whatever she has with Jeremy, I think is just a physical attraction at the time. And there's so much more with Ronnie. But my favorite scenes. This is at the market, right? That's in episode 3, right?
Yes,
Episode
it
3,
is.
yeah.
Cracked me up talking about Jeremy's jam. Just their banter back and forth where they're like clearly competing for her.
Mhm.
Just, I loved it. I just thought it was really funny.
I unfortunately will agree that because I'm Team Jeremy. I think she needs to get to know him better and date him. But it's because I don't think Ronnie's genuine. To me, it felt like it was a through and through competition. Trying to figure out what will work to get her to accept him back rather than actually doing the work because he wants to do the work. It felt like I want to see what's going to work. I got to find my angle is what it felt like.
Well, with the exception though, like when they're talking about like them needing to stay married, I mean, you hear that he's been putting in the work before he came back there. So he has been working on bettering himself. I think it's genuine. I think he messed up and he's sorry for it and he's ready to win her back.
If that's true, I'll be Team Ronnie, but I just feel like it's a mistake right now. But I do like, I mean, he's obviously jealous. That, and I put in our notes, I love when he comes into the restaurant, he sees them canoodling, and then she tells him to go sit out by the bar. And then Jeremy's like, does he know that? And they span over to Ronnie, and he's just sitting in the chair smiling, looking directly at him.
I was like, nope, he does not.
That did make me laugh really hard.
I mean, with Jeremy, it just feels so surface level.
It does.
Just feels
I'll
like
agree with that.
it's just a physical attraction, which maybe is fine, and maybe that's what she needed, just I don't know, to boost her spirits. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little fun little romance with your farmer, but I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything to build on there. Like I think that's all it is.
I do like when he comes in there and he's like, yeah, we met. And he's like, yeah, I'm Annie's father. Oh, you're the guy with the plums. And then at the farmer's market, he's like, Annie's father, farmer.
I love it.
That's why you referred to him as farmer right then, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what Ronnie calls him. I'm 100% Team Ronnie. But I've been Team Ronnie since last season. Y'all
I
remember
know.
I caught up with you.
I am
Amanda?
kind of sad to say that it does feel like Jeremy is just a physical attraction. If that's all it is, then there's no sense in us spending time in that relationship, which is kind of a bummer because I want her to be with a good, decent guy who hasn't broken her heart already and proved to be crap. But we don't know that he isn't because we weren't given the chance to know that. And so I think it just bugs me when we're giving these things. Like there's another scene that was completely pointless. It's not in this episode. It's not in the first 3 episodes, but it's going to give absolutely nothing away. It's just a nothing scene. There were 3 characters that we don't even know their names. They're just background actors. He stands up from a table and he spills a drink and he like freaks out about it. Like, what was the point of that scene?
Okay, I thought somebody was gonna fall and get really hurt.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for it. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who over exaggerated.
There's a lot of those in this, I feel like. And I think their goal is maybe to make it seem like, well, it's everyday life and serenity kind of thing. But I feel like that was some of the relationships that we were given these relationships toyed in front of us just as like a filler or to prove something, and then they're taken away.
Mhm.
Again, with Nellie, we only see her the very first episode of the season, but it was built up like it was going to be a romance, and then after the first episode is done.
So do
Of
we
course.
not see Nelly again?
Not by the end of season 3, we don't, or episode 3, we don't.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's why you keep giving us these things? So I think I'm frustrated there. I think I would be more Team Ronnie if I wasn't so frustrated. Like, well, they had to have given us Jeremy for a reason, right? But I don't think
I think
did.
they wanted you to. I think they wanted her to have a choice that she was giving up somebody for him.
But if it was just surface level, which it seems like it was, what is she really losing?
Yeah.
Nothing, but she got to make the choice.
Yeah.
Have to have a little fun along the way. I mean, I think that's
Didn't
all
make
it
up with him a
was.
lot.
Yeah.
I feel like he was very much a rebound, and then she kind of came to her senses a little bit more, and 'cause they
Came to
never
her
went any
senses.
farther.
I was responding to what you said, Shelby. Keep talking.
But because they never went any farther than kissing,
Mm-mm.
right?
No,
No.
Nope.
Or not so far. Anyway,
not that we saw.
Right.
And
'Cause
she
then
actually, in the truck date, she says that she doesn't want to do it because it's not fair to him because her head is in too many different places.
Yeah.
Mm.
oh yeah, that's right.
But I think she was kind of cruel to Jeremy. She
Yes.
said, I don't want to do this because it's too much in my head. But then she kisses Ronnie. She does let Ronnie flirt with her. She does let Ronnie do all these things for her. She lets Jeremy do all these things for her. And that's just rude.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
She
it's
unfair.
very much takes them along.
it's one thing if you communicate that with them, like, you know, okay, Ronnie, yes, we're flirting, we're doing this, we're doing that, but I am seeing Jeremy, and as long as, you know, all parties know where they stand, I don't have a problem with that. But I think she very much led Ronnie on.
And Jeremy
too, yeah. I mean, she told him, like, you know, it was over between Ronnie and her, when clearly it wasn't over. I mean, like, there was still feelings there, and I feel like she should have communicated that.
And even if she didn't, like, when she said it's over, like, yes, she may have thought it was over for her, whatever, but clearly you're letting this man come in and flirt with you still, come into your house and do things for you, come in and try to win. You know, he's actively trying to win you back.
Yeah.
So you knew it wasn't over for him at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And poor Annie, I mean,
yeah,
how confusing is that for a young kid? I mean, she's not that young, but you know what I mean, though. Like, she
confusing.
Subconsciously, she wants her dad back in her life.
Yeah.
And she wants her mom and her dad back together.
And I think, go ahead.
No, I was just going to talk about the lip balm. I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Oh my gosh, that was really sweet.
But that was really nice. I mean, that I think that goes beyond just, I think that goes beyond the flirting. It's not like, I mean, he went out of his way to go do something that she had mentioned and something that reminded them of a time when they were happy. And I think, like, if the lip balm had been there at the market and he bought it then, when it was like, no, really didn't have to go out of his way to do anything, I would say, okay, maybe that didn't mean a whole lot. But this was something, he found the guy. He went out of his way to do this, to just remind her of happier times. And I
think he also did it because he thought he'd get rewarded.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he could have done other things to get rewarded. I feel like that was putting in a decent amount. Of course, he wants to be rewarded.
Nothing else was getting him rewarded, though.
But he wants her back.
I mean physically rewarded.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He wants her back. So I think he's putting in the effort either way to win her back. I mean,
but I think there's a difference if you're doing something for the purpose of getting rewarded, or if you're doing something because you really want to make someone else happy.
I think
and only one of those would show a change.
Well, I'm gonna stop because we're only talking about episodes 1 through 3, but I think it's the latter. So
see, I'm conflicted right now where I stand. I'm conflicted.
I'm not.
You haven't finished.
I know, but I'm already conflicted.
You have no idea how much happens in the last 3 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
But
I mean,
the lip balm, when he gave it to her, was nice, but then he immediately moved in to start making out with her.
Of course he did, because he likes
But that's
her.
not
This is why.
But that's
he's
not the first
attracted
thing.
to her.
That's not the first thing, because she was clear that I don't want to be. She was saying the words. Okay, she wasn't clear.
She wasn't clear.
She was saying the words, but she was acting differently.
Yeah,
which is confusing to him.
Yes, but I think that he felt, okay, this will put me over the edge. If I do this, then here's my reward coming. Is what it felt like to me.
And
then, yeah. Well, and the other stupid thing is, I'm sorry, Dana Sue, you're already toying with 2 different dudes who seem like they both are trying to get you back, and they're both doing things catering to you at every turn, and you're screwing them both over. And then while you're still dating the farmer guy, you're going to kiss your estranged husband on the front porch in Serenity.
Yep.
Like in public. What are you doing?
I think honestly, like, you guys know, I love Dana Sue the first season. I think that she just likes the attention.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's deserved. I mean,
she needed it.
Yeah, I mean, but I agree.
He says that. Because they said, how is it having 2 guys fight for you? And she's like, exciting.
Who wouldn't like? I mean,
it.
If we're all being honest with ourselves, who wouldn't like that attention?
But again, it just comes back to what Jeanette said about, if there was clear communication, this is what's happening, it wouldn't be so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they would still fight for her, honestly.
Yes.
If she were to say, I'm confused, I don't know which way to go, I think they both would have fought for her, but they both would have known what's on the table.
So we see Dana Sue's, got a happy problem going on between her 2 men. We're hoping that Helen finally gets that same type of happy ending with whoever, she ends up being with, but she deserves it.
So at the beginning of the season, I was so happy for her because she ended up being pregnant. She's been struggling with this for a while, and she was very happy too. I mean, it kind of when I was watching, it threw me off a little bit because she was like talking to the doctor and stuff, and I was texting Amanda the whole time. I was like, please don't tell me she's sick
Yeah.
or something stupid, because like I thought that they were like gonna kill her off or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then she sings her little song and stuff, and then you kind of get the feeling that it's a good thing, and then she announces it, which I was so happy for her about. She would be such a good mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And then by the end of the 3 episodes, my heart was breaking for her.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, round of applause to, I can't think of her name. I'm sitting here trying to think of her name. The actress who plays her.
I'm not sure, but she did so good.
I mean, round of applause for her acting in that episode.
Yeah.
She really it really like got me teary-eyed.
It was sad.
Yeah.
It did for me too. And I mean, Amanda even kind of like, she didn't tell me what happened, but she said that it was a trigger warning. And it was very real. And then, I mean, kudos to Eric too. I mean, Eric, he was with her the whole way through
Mm-hmm.
Everything going on, which is a very traumatic thing for someone to go through. And especially like they're not even a couple at this point. I mean, he's just there for her just because he's a good person.
Yeah.
He's also into her, but
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, still, he
would do that for anybody.
I think he would. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think he would do it for anyone. But I mean, in this case, it's because he cares for Helen.
Karen.
I know. Where did that come to my head? Because I was saying he cares for her. I don't know, guys.
I did love that we got to hear her sing it as well. That's one of my favorite hymns.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we got it. Her voice is, I mean, I've heard her sing before. That was in our group. That was one of the fun facts I did after season 1 was videos, clips of her singing. So I knew she had a good voice, but it was just, I don't know, it was just different hearing the emotion that she put behind it while she was walking down the hall.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Jolie said she's on Broadway. Sorry, that's a little off.
She has been
Yeah.
on Broadway, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
But
her first name is Heather.
Heather, and then it starts with an H is her last name, but I can't.
Heather Headley.
Headley. Yeah.
Or Headley. It's Headley.
Yeah, I'm not sure how.
but she did so good. And I mean, even like the one thing that really stuck out to me too was like the whole town was at the market and she wasn't there. She was just like kind of alone in her apartment. I mean, obviously someone brought her the pancakes, which looked delicious. Eric brought her the pancakes, which looked delicious coming from, you know, an overweight girl. And she it just like it broke my heart, like seeing her like break down and cry in that hallway or like dormer or whatever you want to call it. She was very raw.
She was very what? Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Eric was too. So there's clearly more to that, which I know what there's more to it, but you all don't know. But I mean, even in that episode, I think even watching that episode, I thought there was more to this because he broke down. It was more than just Helen is hurting.
Yeah.
There was something personal to him in that. That's what I thought anyways.
I agree with that.
And it's like you get these glimpses of hope for Helen where she's, you know, of course, when Howie first tells her she's upset, she's singing, but then she tells the Sweet Magnolias and she's excited. Yeah. And then Ryan calls. It's almost like, oh, wait, could there? And then this, it's just like, Helen is my favorite character.
Yeah, mine too.
And she cannot get a break. Like we're watching all these other people that have happy problems. And Helen is the only one who just gets repeatedly kicked. Like, why?
Yep. Yeah.
Why?
And she's one of the ones. Yeah. And she's one of the ones that is selflessly there for everybody, no matter what. You know, like she's going through this whole miscarriage thing, still helping Isaac out.
Yep.
With like their promise to him.
Well, the miscarriage didn't happen until episode 3. So up until the first, when she starts helping Isaac, she's not aware of the miscarriage.
Okay, then disregard that. But still,
Still, she's helping him.
yeah. But still, she's helping everybody.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
she was at the very beginning when Dana Sue started with her crap. Helen was the one that was trying to be the pacemaker and, you know, like kind of getting in the middle of them and being like, listen, like you guys need to calm down, blah, blah, blah. Dana Sue walked out. Helen stayed behind and, you know, was talking with Maddie when Maddie asked if she should follow her. And Helen was like, no, I wouldn't. But like, I think based on the timeline, I mean, it seemed like she still stayed with Maddie for a little while, like to make sure Maddie was good.
Yeah.
You know, she's there for everyone,
Always.
no matter what she's going through.
And she does say in episode 3, when they're all over at her house for that margarita thing, I think it was after the farmer's market, that her mom or her grandmother who tells her these sayings, but she said that you need to care so well for everyone around you that you'll never have to question whether or not they're caring for you, because they'll automatically care for you. And that's kind of Helen's motto, but it's also kind of sad because there is reality to self-care.
Yeah.
That because when you're so busy caring for everyone else around you, then there's, you know, you don't think about yourself, so you don't let yourself feel those things. And that's hard. And I think that, you know, that when she was dealing with Isaac, that she's not asking him to pay or anything either. There's no way she's making him pay for that stuff. She's doing it because Dana Sue asked them to.
Yeah.
And she's doing it because Isaac desperately wants to know this information. She's not personally benefiting from it. So and I like that she takes the clues from his Bible. She goes into his family information, and she's going to all these different records to try to get the adoption records, and she can't. So I think she's just a stellar person.
Yeah.
She's playing like detective almost with no clues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like she's coming up with stuff and everything like based off of what he's giving her, but like he really doesn't have much to give at all.
Nope.
And I think that contrasts with the last time we see Helen, where she's on her steps crying, sobbing alone, and just saying why over and over again.
Oh,
That was painful.
heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
It really did just break my heart, man.
Yeah.
But Helen's justifiably upset. But she's not alone. Cal is as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cal went through it.
Man, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he went through it. I was like, oh gosh, the hits just keep on coming. And that Peggy, oh gosh, that Peggy, she did not help.
She's so rude.
Yeah, I was like, that's
So
a
rude.
rude way to ask that question.
She's got too much Mary Vaughn in her.
I don't like Peggy either. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
I don't.
No,
But like
not even
she's
a little bit.
rude. And it's even worse because she's rude, but she tries to hide how rude she's being. At least Mary Vaughn is like, I'm going to be rude to everyone and I'm going to make it obvious.
Yeah, I don't know. Peggy bugs me probably as much as Mary Vaughn does, honestly.
Yeah, they both just really irritate me. I hate Mary Vaughn worse than Peggy, but they both irritate me to no end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also, didn't Cal get them almost to state when
No, he got them to
he
state
got them?
for the first
he
time in a
got-
decade.
They said that was like the furthest they have gotten in
10 years.
10
Yes.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Why
And they
was
came
that
in
this
fourth.
Yes, why
Which
was
is
that not
great.
recognized? Why was she so set on, oh, how does it feel to come in fourth? I'm like,
Because I mean, in your effort to stick it to the coach, you're sticking it to all those boys who work so hard to get there,
Yeah.
and you're basically saying you all suck. You couldn't get it done. Like they're teenagers, for goodness sake.
yeah.
I don't know why that was the story you were looking for. Like that didn't make any sense to me. But
And one of their best players was laid up. I mean,
mhm.
we saw in season 1, Ty was mainly the pitcher and stuff. I mean, Jackson filled in when he had to, but Ty was laid up, so he wasn't in there. So,
Mhm.
you know, on top of it already being a kick in the teeth that Ty couldn't be there, then you're also saying to these high school boys, oh, well, why couldn't you do better?
Yeah.
And
Essentially.
him losing his temper at the end of that.
Guys, that was a lot.
I was honestly shocked
Mhm.
Mhm.
because of his demeanor in season 1 of being so calm, cool, collected. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden we're getting this like angry Cal, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
There's so much that was altered about these characters in season 2.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's yelling at Coach Harlan, which
Don't
he
do
wouldn't have
that.
done in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
And he does have to apologize to Maddie and Ty at baseball camp. Well, Ty at baseball camp, but he does have to go in person and apologize to Maddie.
Did you all think his apology to Maddie didn't sit right with me? The way he apologized to her didn't for me come across, I'm sorry for my actions. He almost kept making excuses for his actions. I didn't like it.
I didn't feel like he was making excuses. I think he was saying, I have a problem and I'm trying to keep it under control.
But see, I don't think.
But he did. I don't think he actually apologized. I think he went in there to explain. I don't think he apologized.
He didn't. I don't even. Did he actually say problem? Because I didn't remember that part. I just remember him saying.
He said, I have a temper.
I have a temper, but I've been working hard. It was almost like this, like just trying to like make excuses instead of just being like, I was wrong. I am so sorry for the way I acted. That was out of line and I had no business doing that.
I think the apology was missing from that. He didn't actually go and apologize. He just went and explained.
Yeah. There was no
Maybe
apology.
that's why it didn't sit well, because it wasn't an apology.
His talk with Ty was better, in my opinion, than his talk with Maddie.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Cal, we also have poor Ty, who was going through a hard time not being able to be really included in state, and then he shows up at baseball camp one, which I loved. Like he showed up and he was ready to help out.
Yeah.
And then he was just turned away. I was like, oh.
And he just wanted to help set up. Like he could have done that.
Yeah, he wanted to come help set up and, support Cal and everyone else. And he was just like, nope, sorry, you can't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I did feel when Cal and Harlan were trying to convince him to go to state, that Maddie was a little unfair about it at first. When he got in the car, he first said it. I felt like she was trying to say, well, no, there's too many things at home. No, you can't. And I felt that was really unfair of her to do that, because he has worked his butt off that entire season. So what if he can't play? To deny him going to state when he's largely the reason they're going?
Yeah, that didn't sit well with me.
I thought, wow, Maddie, that's a different shade on you that I don't like. And then when he picked up on it, obviously, and he's like, well, no, there's too much here, so I'm going to stay here. And then she said, that's smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's been the big character change for her this season. Like I said, I think it's another example of her using her own feelings and emotions and putting it off on everyone else. And I mean, you made Ty feel that way, even though that's not how he was feeling. That's how you were feeling.
Exactly.
That's not okay.
The benefit there is she realized it. Go ahead, Shelby.
As a child, he shouldn't have that on his shoulders, regardless of what else is going on and stuff. Because like in season 1, we saw that he kind of took the whole Bill and Maddie's divorce thing on his shoulders too, where he was trying to protect his mother. Yeah. And now this season, it seems like Maddie's just like kind of piling on. I mean, he's even like, in my opinion, he's stepped up a lot for Katie too.
Yeah.
As far as like, he's an amazing brother for Katie. He's taking her places. He's, being that kind of buffer when things aren't going well with Maddie. Like Ty's kind of like the light part in Katie's little world. Like when Kyle's being mean to Katie, Ty's the one that's there. Like, Katie, let's go do this instead. Whatever. He's taking on a lot for 16, 17-year-old?
Yeah, 17. And he hides everything, because when he tried to throw the ball with his left arm, he didn't tell anyone he was trying to do that. And then you see him crying alone in his room, but he's crying silently. And you have to know that that's what Maddie doesn't get concerned or worried or upset.
Yeah.
I give it to Maddie for realizing what she was doing. And she brought it up to him, and I'm thankful Ty was honest and said, I do want to go. I want to be there.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite moment was when he went to baseball camp and he was talking to Cal, and Cal did say, we could help each other by talking to each other. And the smile that lit up on Ty's face, he needed someone to care about him. Not that Maddie doesn't care about him, because she is a good mom.
Yeah. But
because she, like Jeanette said, she's so in her own emotions this season. Or I don't know if Shelby said that, Jeanette said that, but she's so in her emotions this season that Kyle is now not getting hurt, just like, or not Kyle, Ty is now not getting hurt the way Kyle was not getting hurt. So to have Cal step up and say, hey, I want to be there for you, even when his own dad wasn't there for him because his own dad is only concerned with baseball.
Yeah.
That was really, I mean, that was good.
The other thing is too, and I don't know, maybe this is kind of harsh, but like it seems like with Bill and Maddie, like they can only pay attention to one child at a time. Like last
Yeah,
season it
kind
was
of.
Ty. Kyle and Katie were kind of like in the background a little bit.
Well, last season, I think Maddie did a pretty good job staying with Kyle. Going to all
Yeah.
this stuff, being involved. I think Maddie did a pretty good. Bill never did, though.
Yeah,
Katie just
Maddie
is
was
always
better
never
than
there.
Bill was. Yeah. And then Katie kind of reminds me of Annie and This Is Us a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's off topic. But anyway, and now this season, I don't know, it just seems like Ty's kind of taking on the weight of the world. Kyle's off in his own little world being a jerk. And once again, Katie's just off with Maddie's mom.
But I mean, Ty had some issues with his attitude too, because I mean, he went to state, he came back and exploded on Kyle, and he blamed his broken arm and the loss of state on Kyle, which is completely not true and unfair. And then Ty's even ignoring Cece, which that's your girlfriend. That's, I mean, why are you ignoring her? She's trying to help you out. She's trying to be there for you. You're not letting her do that. And I do like that she calls him on at the farmer's market about that. Like, hey, what are you doing? I'm trying. Yeah, I'm busy, but I'm trying to make time for you, even though I'm busy. So I don't know. I think that he had a lot of issues, but I think, weird romances. Cause I was not on board with Cece and Ty at first. I didn't like it. I did not. Not that I didn't like it. I wasn't a huge fan of Cece.
Me neither.
But I mean, that was kind of weird romance. And I mean, speaking of weird romances, what in the world is going on at the high school? Like, this is a weird one for me. This, but I think it's because we came from Jackson of last season, hate this guy. This season, I don't know what you are now.
Yeah. No, Jackson completely changed this season from episode 1. I feel like he really did change. And
even in the first 3 episodes, I feel like he's changed. So
yeah,
it was really confusing my brain because like, okay, so we went from we don't like Jackson to oh, poor Jackson.
Love Jackson, I think is where I went. Like, this is the couple that like I didn't know I needed. It never even crossed my mind.
Nope.
And now I'm like and I was obsessed from that first moment in the hospital. I looked at, because me and Elena were watching this together, and I said, do you think they're gonna get those together? She was like, I mean, she agreed. And I was like, I don't know about it. But then by the time we saw him at the farmer's market handing out the things for his mom's like real estate agent, I was like, I like this. Like, I like it a lot. When he brought her the present, the little jersey, like, I mean,
how sweet was that?
It was so nice.
Sweet. And even like when he came up with like the little poster.
Yeah.
And commented he knew her handwriting. So how long has Jackson been pining over Annie and we had no idea?
Well, he did pick on her. And isn't that typical, like, young boys, like, you want to pick on the girls you think are cute or whatever?
Well, I think he picked on her to get to Jackson, though. I think that Jackson was so consumed with himself and his own life that was more about Jackson than her. I mean, Ty.
Yeah.
But that could have also been why Jackson was mean to Ty too, because
could be.
We all know Annie had a thing for Ty, and she wasn't really subtle about it.
Yeah, she wasn't.
And I mean, Dana Sue is kind of. I wish that she would see what we saw.
Yeah, I don't blame her for her reaction. I don't. No. But I wish she could see that. He's just I wish she could just think, though, like, imagine this kid, like, his life growing up, maybe he's not all that bad and we're just judging him based on his parents, and no kid deserves that, but
yeah,
even Ronnie, so when she say she reminds me a lot of me when I was that age, that was a little cute little Ronnie was like, that's not a bad thing. And I thought the same thing. I was like, oh man, she's got her mama's taste in men here.
Exactly. And then when she confronts Annie about it, Annie's like, I'm not the one who's confused about the men in my life. Like, yes. Thank you, Annie. I don't usually, Annie's not a character because I have a lot of issues with Annie.
I did last season.
I still do.
I don't.
I can't talk about them yet, though, but I do. I can talk about them next week. Why?
We'll talk
in these 3 episodes, I don't have an issue with her. Just do the next segment. But
what in the world you could have issues with, but I'll have to wait till next week.
I'll tell you how. But I do. I Jackson her feels right. I don't know why, but it does. It's weird.
Oh, it feels like I'm on board. I love it.
So it may be weird, but it's certainly never, ever, ever boring in Serenity.
Definitely not. We saw like this season we're getting a lot of extra stuff, I think, with some of the other people that we didn't see stuff about. One thing that I love, I mean, I think I've said it over and over again, Trotter, I adore him. So we've got him and his husband Ashley wanting to adopt a baby. Love that. And then I guess we've got something going on with the mayor. They're causing a big uproar with the parking in town and like ticketing all the customers. I mean, which I think is that meeting was hilarious with Maddie. Just the way she handled that was so perfect. You know, just I mean, what are you all doing? Like, you're just going to start like ticketing everyone and not even give them, like, not even tell them it's an issue until it's already an issue. Like, that's not, I don't know. It felt so strange.
And if you're getting a parking ticket without an explanation, that's not a parking ticket you have to pay.
Exactly. I'm not paying it.
And it was such a Southern way for her to
Yeah.
basically say, you know, words that I'm not allowed
Bless
to
your
say
heart.
on this podcast. Yeah, bless your heart. She's like, bless your heart. I'll get back to you. I'm like, that is so Southern.
Go ahead and bring this up. Okay. And maybe it's because I live in the South. I think that the bless your heart is overused in the show.
Thank you. It really is.
We do use that on occasion, but we do not use it like they use it. Like the way she used it in this meeting was weird. Like for me, it sounded very awkward and I didn't like it.
Oh, I liked it.
But
It
it's
was
felt
too
so
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here,
I agree.
the Southern.
But they also use it in two different ways. Because oftentimes Maddie's like, oh, bless his heart. That
and
boy.
that is true.
Mhm.
That's usually saying like, oh my God, they're so dumb, but God, we love you. But in this case, it was you. But it was awkward for me. I don't know. I've never heard anyone use it as much as they use it. And I live in the South, but we don't say it that often.
Yeah.
In my
Oh, but what about him talking about the child care center? One, that was genius,
yes.
right?
In the
Mhm.
spa, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the spa, the child care center.
Mhm.
It is a really good idea.
Mhm.
But even I like that that's how he told her though.
Yeah.
That they were going to try to start adopting. I loved that.
I thought it was cute. I love that.
I like how excited all the women are for him.
Mhm. Trotter's awesome.
I love him.
I do
I do
too.
too.
A lot.
And then we also see Isaac with his moves,
His
Which
dance moves.
Jeanette
that I've
has
been
already made us aware of from his TikTok.
on TikTok. I'm obsessed with all of
Oh, I
his
know.
stuff on TikTok.
I like that they're incorporating some of these actors' natural abilities and skills into the show, though, like with Helen and her voice, and
Yeah.
Isaac and his dance.
Yep.
Like I love
Yeah.
that.
So I think, guys, I think we've talked extensively about these
And
first
talked
three
and talked
episodes.
and talked and talked and talked.
Yes.
Yes, and I could talk more, but you know, my family's gonna be home soon, so we can't do that. But I don't know. We got a lot more to say though.
Yes.
For those of you that have not watched the rest of the season, oh my goodness, there's so much more gonna happen. So
next week we are talking episodes 4, 5, and 6. So we did not give you any information that you would have missed. So if you only caught up on the first few episodes, now's your time before we get into next Wednesday to get into the next 3 episodes. Okay, because we are going to spoil those 3 episodes for you next week. So getting that, we only have The Resident and 911 coming out on Sunday now, don't we? Because This Is
Yeah.
Us is on hiatus until after the Olympics. So Sunday will be This Is Us 911, and then of course next Wednesday you're gonna have some more Sweet Magnolias.
Mhm.
So stay tuned for that. You can find us on Facebook under Sweet Magnolias Serenity Family Fan Club. You can reach us out to our email at familyfanclub. Nope. Yeah, that's right. familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. I second guessed myself there. You can reach us there. Ask us any questions you want. Let us know what you want to hear, what you don't like, what you do like. We really just want to hear from you. We created the show because we are fans ourselves, wanting to reach more fans who like what we like. So we want to hear from you and see what you want to see. And you can find us on any of our social medias, like we said. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That's it. under Fandom Family Chats. Reach out to us there, and we will see you in a week. That's all we got. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.